Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Phlegra. I am, as always, General Confusion, and you may notice we're starting on the research screen. And that's because I kind of had a thought that I want to test out. It goes like this. Tyrants start off with 3 fire. This guy happened to get a fire random, so he actually has 4 fire. He has a lot of fire magic, Mr. Prothus up here. So, with that amount of fire, and fire resistance, he can cast spells like Fire Blast that we have here. It has a very short range, area of effect 1, and does actually quite a bit of damage, plus a large area heat shock that causes fatigue damage all around it. Little level up. That was Burning Hands. This is Fire Blast. No, that's Fire Blast, still only has the 1 area. What's the one that does, There's one that's an area of effect, because Burning Hands is AoE 1. Fire Blast is AoE 1. There's a fire spell like that that has a wider area of effect, I swear. Flame Eruption, up at level 6. Okay, well that's at level 6, but in any case, Fire Blast has an area of effect Heat Shock, as well as its damage, and its damage is pretty significant. It's basically a fireball, just with a really short range. But he can cast this spell for 5 fatigue. Almost nothing. And since he's a combat caster, he takes half fatigue. He takes only half his encumbrance for casting spells in melee. And he's fire resistant. So he doesn't, even if he's casting AoE fire spells at short range, he doesn't have to worry about burning himself. So here's my thought. My thought is, research-wise, at alteration level 3, I get Iron Skin, which gives you natural protection 20. Iron Skin would kick a tyrant's protection up to about 26 all told. 25, 26, depending on whether it's the head or the body. That makes him very hard to hurt, actually. Then at level 3, at level 4, you get Temper Flesh, which halves damage from physical attacks and also gives you even more fire resistance. That makes him basically invulnerable. With Conjuration, if I researched Conjuration, I could get Phoenix Power, but with 4 fire, he doesn't even need it. All he really needs is Alteration and Evocation, and with that, he could actually be a pretty effective close-range magical thug, even without any gear, was my thought. I mean, he can cast, if I keep going down Evocation, he can drop Fire Clouds, he can drop Falling Fires at level 5 to do a bunch of damage. He can cast Banefire Darts, which are kind of cool. He can definitely throw Fireballs just all day, every day. And he can use this Fire Blast spell, which, I mean, fatigue like that, hitting everyone around him, would be highly, highly effective. All he'd really need would be like a Belt of Giant Strength or something to help keep his fatigue down. And with those 2 buffs alone, he would be very, very difficult for humans to actually hurt. So I was thinking about it. I think I'll probably try it at some point. Not right now, because Prothus is doing an excellent job just capturing slaves for me. Army-wise, I have a very significant army here already. I've got another Trophimos commander waiting in the wings for more helots. I'm recruiting more Gigantes warriors to go with this next tyrant. When I finish recruiting him, he'll move down here to this fort, where I'm going to kick the defense up to 20. Up to, well, not 20 immediately, because I don't have enough money. Let's kick it up to about 11. That will give me 1 point of unrest reduction per month, plus the order unrest reduction. So that'll help keep unrest down. Unrest is rising here slowly, because I have these 3 giants standing around, and each one causes unrest. But in any case, this army here, I could, at this point, just go straight to war with Vanheim. This army can absolutely take on 40 Huskarls. The other option is to take this throne relatively soon, because I have 60 there, I have 60 here, plus 6 Gigantes. I can't get there in 1 turn. I would have to skip them down this way, which they have to go through this province anyway. So we're gonna go through that province. We're recruiting a commander here to build a fort. We've got a fort there. Our fort here will be completed in 2 months. And we will, we'll just kind of keep rolling. Let's give him these helots there. One thing I do notice playing as Phlegra, you end up with random helots just scattered all over the place, because every now and then the helots will retreat, even from a battle that you then proceed to win. Mixing a few Gigantes in with an army is really good for that, because the Gigantes will go berserk, and they will typically win you the battle, even if the helots retreat. I will want Phlegius to be moving around site searching soon. Right now, I want him because he's about half my research, and I want to finish Alteration. I'm not going to bother with Alteration level 4 just yet, I think. Iron Skin. Well, yeah, I'll get Alteration level 4 for Temper Flesh. So we'll get Alteration level 4, we'll hit Construction level 2, and then I think we'll go down Evocation for a while. I think we'll go down Evocation all the way to level 5, which will give me Falling Fires and stuff like that. Construction, I guess I actually want Construction level 3 for Legions of Steel. And then we'll go down Evocation for a little while. At that point, we'll double back. At some point in here, we'll double back to get Construction level 4, and then we'll probably also head down Enchantment to grab Strength of Giants, which will be a fantastic buff for my Helot armies once real warfare starts happening. But for now, Asopos is going to move... Yeah, Asopos is moving down there. Polybos is just waiting in the wings. And we're about ready to end our turn. So let's see how things go. Are we recruiting? Yeah, we're recruiting a couple of dudes down there as well. And let's also recruit some down here. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's recruit an elephant down here. So we can have Deparos move down here, move down there, and then attack one of these provinces. Okay. Okay, ooh, we found 2 magic sites in Nashen. We found an enchanted pyre and an enchanted tower, so fire and earth. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We're going to build a lab here. Actually, tell you what. Stop doing that. Just stop doing that for now. We're going to start upgrading the fort first. And for right now, let's recruit... I don't really like them, but let's recruit a Cyclops Chieftain or 2 just so we can use them to ferry around Gigantes. Let's do that, and while we're working on that, we'll also start recruiting one... Nah, let's not recruit a Gigante here. I'm just not that impressed with Gigantes, to be honest. Let's start getting some of these Cataphracts here, because they're pretty nifty. Yeah, we'll start getting some Cataphracts there. Down here, Celeria is setting up itself. Let's buff the defense in this province as well. This province, we are definitely going to want to be recruiting the independents, because Amazons are pretty solid. Asopos, take that province. Up here, Risos should take these guys. Let's wait one more turn. Get some more troops there. Deparos, move down in there. Yeah, get a few more helots. Actually, let's get a second elephant. And then another helot. Other battles. Battle in White Harbor. I anticipate this went well because we have just a large army. Like, this is a lot of troops. We radically outnumber the enemy, and the enemy is pretty crap quality too. Like, light infantry are one of the few units that is probably objectively inferior to Helot warriors. Now, admittedly, these Helot warriors only have morale 9 because they're in a hostile dominion, but still. Light infantry are just bad. And so are militia, for that matter. So, we're going to get some javelins off on them, do a little bit of damage, inflict a kill or 2 before they close. Yeah, those javelins are actually pretty good for wounding people up before we engage in melee. With that, Nature Mage is actually throwing Bark Skin on some of our troops, which is buffing their protection up to quite respectable levels. It's too bad I don't have high-level nature magic, or the wide-scale protection spells would be really, really useful, but I only have Nature 1. So we've wiped out that little independent army. 4 casualties, not bad. Some Earth Gems, lost some Dominion, and a new famous hero, Polybos, has unbreakable skin, tough skin. So his protection has gone up by 3. That's pretty cool, actually. Good job, Polybos. Oh, that's Vanheim. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna rush Vanheim. I mean, he's only got 40 units there. I've got well over 100, 6 of whom are giants. We're just gonna sit on Vanheim's capital real quick. Just, he just gets to deal with that. Yeah, let's not... I already have one Cyclops Chieftain, and I don't want more than I need. Let's recruit a Trophimos commander instead. You're moving. You're waiting. You've got 25 helots. Let's actually start moving you north as quickly as we can. You... You were going to build a fort. I don't have the money for that. You come back to that locale. We won't bother to recruit a Trophimos commander. We'll start recruiting a Shackled Mage instead. And down here, all these guys are already moving. Okay, so I think that's going to be the turn again. Unrest is still going up. In order to combat that, since Polybos is just standing here, I'm going to have Polybos patrol with those 26 troops that he has. 5 commanders are doing nothing. Who's doing nothing? All right. Mimos, you can also patrol since you're here. You're fine, you're fine. You have just searched. You should actually keep moving for searching purposes. So, good reminder, game. Let's go over... Let's go down this way. And you should also be moving for searching purposes. Okay. Alright, the battle in Vanheim. Let's see how this went. So, in the blue corner, we have 6 of the enormous Gigante warriors of Phlegra. Ooh, this one actually has gotten afflictions. That's the first time I've seen an affliction-resistant unit actually get afflictions. Interesting, interesting, interesting. He must have just gotten stabbed a lot in that last battle. Still only the one, though. So, good on him. What does he have? He has a limp and battle fright. So his morale is low and he's slow. But morale penalties actually don't matter because he berserks. So, that's good. And on the other side I have, this is just province defense. He does have a Van Hers leading the province defense. And the Van Hers is going to be tough with defense skill freaking 19. The Huskarls are actually very comparable. I mean, look at the Huskarls. Hit points 10, 10, 10, 11. Protection 11. Morale 11. Friendly Dominion. They have an Axe attack, 10 attack, 18 damage, Javelin 8, 12. Compare them to the Helot Warriors. 10, 10, 10. Defense skill 12. So defense skill actually a little bit higher? Yeah, defense skill actually a little bit higher. Morale a little bit lower and protection lower, but their attacks are exactly the same. So Helot Warriors are barely inferior to these Huskarls. And we are going to storm forward with our mass of troops. He's cast Air Shield on himself, which will protect him from javelins, but won't protect his troops. So they're going to throw their javelins, get some damage off. We will retort with more javelins and get more damage off, because javelins don't care how weak the person throwing them is. So we got several kills just with the javelins. Now the Gigantes are engaging in melee, except for this guy with a limp and this guy who's gotten stuck behind 100 human soldiers. We're going to engage in melee, and the melee will be fairly even, but because we have numbers on our side, we are definitely going to prevail. We're already rolling the flank and chasing off the routing enemies. Now the Van Hers is pretty much alone. You can see the harassed penalty is already hurting him, and he's routed. So he is going to be killed. There we go. Very, very good battle. We did lose 20 of our Helot Warriors, but compared to killing 66 enemy units, that's not bad. In the Deep Forest, we rolled over some Lion Tribe with minimal casualties. We have started to destroy the fort in Vanheim. So we've got Vanheim's capital locked down. Now, if this was a multiplayer game, he would not have been producing so many Huskarls. He would be expanding with much more powerful units. But still, I mean, we've got him pretty well at this point. Especially because that fortification, it does have 500 wall integrity. We have 132 siege strength. So we will break it down, and he's probably not going to be able to break out, at least not without deploying his Pretender. We also have Iapetus. Research-wise, we have hit alteration level 3. So, we're upgrading that, we're upgrading that. That's been built, so we're going to upgrade that and recruit. We're probably going to start recruiting Heelot archers as well, because they are lower resource cost. The Amazons might be a good thing to be going after at this point. They do less damage, but they have more defense and more protection than my Heelots. The downside is they cost a whole bunch more recruitment points. So they're more solid troops, but I can have only a few of them. Whereas Heelots I can just spam out. Yeah, honestly, it's probably better to just keep recruiting Heelots. Like, because I can do that and be recruiting a pretty decent little army. Now, the Heelots are going to suffer friendly fire from the archers, but I don't care. They're just Heelots, you know? We'll search for magic sites there. We'll search for magic sites here. We're only searching for fairly easy to find magic sites at the moment. With our 3 elephants now, I think we can probably run over either of these provinces. That's a big province. I could attack it with elephants, though. And I have 60 Heelots there. And I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into a battle without significant numerical superiority. Heelots are not good. They're just available. That's 30 heavy cavalry, so that would absolutely roll my little Heelot army. So, why don't you move back here? We may actually declare war on Solaria. Or we might go up there to take out that place. We're getting our cataphracts recruited up here, so having a few cataphracts mixed in will also help. Basically, when you have a big army of crap like this, having a few cataphracts or other heavy units mixed in is disproportionately helpful. So we've got 2 tyrants. I think I'm probably just going to keep recruiting tyrants, to be honest, in my capital. And we'll focus on recruiting mages in other areas. Oh, did we not get our lab built here? We didn't get our lab built there. We're still upgrading. How long is it going to be? 2 months? So yeah, search there, then come back and build the lab. No. I shouldn't have moved him away. It'll be fine. Search there, then come back and build the lab. We need a lab here as well. So actually why don't you just start moving? Because it's going to take 3 turns to upgrade that. So 1, 2, and build the lab. That'll be 3. Great. So pretty soon we're going to actually start recruiting research mages. We only have 100 gold in the treasury at the moment. This army will be able to hold off against whatever attacks it pretty much. Down this way, Polybus, or Polybos. Let's get a double line going on there. You will stay behind. These 9 Gigantes are going to go with Mimos. And Polybos and Mimos will head for Vanheim. I don't know why they're splitting up exactly. I would think, oh, it's because he's a human and he can't move that quickly. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, let's go reinforce the army besieging Vanheim. We're gonna knock Vanheim out really early. Honestly, I feel like this is something that Phlegra will be pretty good at doing. I mean, it's turn 14 and we have an enemy capital under siege just because, like, this is an army of a size that most other nations will not be able to match. And it is only one of 3 armies I currently have access to. It's the largest, but it's not by any means the only. So, I feel like this is pretty solid, to be honest. I'm sure there are more. I think overall it might actually be more efficient to be using Gigantes a little more aggressively, but just mixing in a few is enough to make your expansion parties very, very tough. So I think that's going to be this turn as well. Iapetus, actually someone had kind of a funny suggestion that I think I am going to take. We're going to name him Fortress Iapetus, because really these guys are forts. I mean, in terms of production, they are fortresses. And in terms of what they can do on the battlefield, they're basically artillery. So we've got Fortress Iapetus and Fortress Prothus. Did he have an E at the end? I don't remember. We'll stick with that. All right, so yeah, that should be the end of the turn. Pelaios can take these guys. We're going to recruit some more for him. Like I've done elsewhere, let's start mixing in some archers. It'll use up our gold a little bit faster, but we're doing fine on gold. I mean, for this point of the game, to have 4 forts up and running is pretty solid. Admittedly, we only have a lab at one of them, and we are still in the process of upgrading, but still, very, very solid. That third eye really isn't relevant, so you can just stay there. The only real benefit of these guys leveling up is that it gives them more leadership. So they can lead ever larger hordes of helots to victory. Yeah, you stay there. Odysseus. Ooh, Odysseus. Interesting. Nice little Greek names there. You stay there. Yeah, you stay there for now. Am I recruiting anything here? I only have 18 resources. You know what? Let's start recruiting some turtle warriors. Possibly we'll eventually... those are both troll provinces. Ugh. Yuck. We might be able to go underwater at some point with some of these turtle dudes. We'll just... we'll give it a shot. Okay. Edward the Castellan has claimed the throne of Winter in the name of the Lord of Spring, interestingly. In Pavonia, we found a quicksand, so more earth gems. In Runia, we had a battle. Our small elephant-led force is going up against the Bone Tribe. Now, the Bone Tribe are interesting because they all berserk, which is dangerous because it means they don't rout. They also all throw javelins, and they have these spetum, these high-damage spears. So, they're tough, don't get me wrong. They're much tougher than most independents. But I feel like with 3 elephants we can probably take them. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. The elephants are doing really well. We've got most of them down. Nope, the elephants are routing. Nah, we're done. Okay, we killed a lot of them, but we didn't manage to get them all dead. Fair enough. Bone Tribe are tough. We killed 19 and we lost 14, so we gave as good as we got, but... And our Trophimos commander got away. Fortunately, we don't really care about any of those units. Walls in Vanheim still require more time to break down. Dubros is now an upgraded fort, and so now I can recruit a Shackled Mage every turn. Now, Shackled Mages, since I have Magic 3, have 8 research points each, and they only cost 60 gold. So they're not fast researchers, but they are highly efficient researchers. And Fortress Iapetus is going to start capturing slaves here, and he will continue doing so for a good long time. Up here, still recruiting Gigantes. I'm getting my 3rd Fortress Tyrant recruited. After that, I'll probably start recruiting some actual mages there as well. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. Let's move you back there. You're moving over there, so we'll build a couple of labs next turn. And let's start our 4th fort. Right there, Giant Palisades. So, we've broken ground on our 4th fortress on turn 15. It'll be done on turn 21. These armies will both be here to reinforce the siege of Vanheim. Next turn, be another 25 helots. And another 9 Gigantes, which will more than double our giant contingent. So yeah, things are going actually really, really smoothly. Let's get those guys down there. Let's get the archers as well. Since we have Fortress Iapetus here recruiting Helot warriors, we no longer really have to recruit many of them. So let's focus on pumping out some archers. And by some, I mean 1 million. Let's just pump out a huge slop of archers in order to reinforce Pelaios' army. So we'll have a line of helots at the front, and then we'll have the archers right behind. And they will be set to fire at... Let's fire at the enemy archers. Let's shoot at the back. Let the helots deal with the infantry. One more turn, we'll have a very sizable army, which we will send in Celeria's direction. Now, Celeria has a pretty decent grip of troops right here, which makes me think that Celeria is probably close. That's Celeria. Okay. I was actually kind of lucky in that I have all this space with no one else interfering. But in case you're wondering why I can see the names of these provinces, that's a factor of the age. In the early age, you can only see the names of adjacent provinces. In the Middle Ages, you can see 2 provinces away, and in the late ages, you can see 3 provinces away. So if this was a late age game, I would be able to see the name of this province. I don't know if I've said that in one of my earlier videos before, but just keep in mind. It's a good thing to know. Over here, I've got a couple of Gigantes. Let's recruit a chieftain and 1 more giant. And that will give us kind of a core for an army. These are all Heelot warriors. We'll give to Asopos. He's got 66 units. Let's give him those archers as well. 66 Heelot warriors is probably enough. He could have 6 more archers. Well, but we've got a whole nother commander. So let's pump out another pile of archers for him. We'll set that on repeat. Actually, tell you what. Yeah, let's do that. We're actually running out of recruitment points solely because that giant costs so many. But I feel like having 3 or 4 giants mixed in with the Helots is definitely worth it. And next turn we should have enough money anyway to build at least 1 of the labs that we want, probably both. After we finish with our next tyrant, we will, as I said, go to recruiting mages here. That 3rd tyrant will, I think, come down this way or here to Oaklands or Nashen. Probably site searching on the way, and then settle into recruit. Fortress of Iapetus, interest also. Well, I almost said interestingly. While I'm thinking about it, let's wait 1 more turn before we capture slaves so that we can search for magic sites here. Alright, who's slacking off? Deporos is slacking off. Let's move him back up here to grab some troops. Asopos already has a pretty significant army, but he's waiting 1 more turn before we go in against Celeria, or he could move down this way to take on independence. But in any case, we'll wait 1 more turn. He will actually patrol for now, just to hold down unrest. Our population is low here, and patrolling is going to kill some of them, but it is what it is. Peleos, similarly, should continue patrolling. Unrest is still 13 up here, but as we take the giants away, it will come down. I'll stop recruiting Gigante warriors at some point, or at least slow down with them, but for now, pumping out 3 per turn is probably pretty solid. Was I recruiting a Cyclops somewhere? I've got Mimos there. I've got Nautes up here. After we've done with him, let's recruit a Cyclops Shepherd Shaman and move on from there. Okay, no magic sites. Proclamation from Ashdod. So we've got a Prophet of Child Feaster. Isn't this the 2nd time? I think Ashdod's prophet might have died. A battle in Vanheim. It looks like they were trying to break out and fight us. Let's see how it went for them. So, they've got this looks like their whole army. Very significant army. They've got a Van Jarl back there, a Van Hers, and their prophet here. Their prophet who is actually injured, interestingly. Their blessing is invulnerability, cold weapons. So they've got a water and earth bless. Interesting, yeah, frost weapons. Then up here they've got some Vans. Recruiting Vans is how Vanheim tends to expand in multiplayer games because Vans are so good. High defense, high attack, fast, and they have glamour. So they're automatically just very, very hard to deal with. And then they have all these. They have a hearse. They've got a whole bunch of Huskarls out front. Huskarls with spears and Huskarls with axes. A few more Vans. And back here they've got another pack of Huskarls with a leader of some kind, it looks like. Yeah, they've got a hearse back here as well. On my side, I've got all my armies have showed up. So I've got a big old pile of Helots and 2 separate chunks of Gigantes. If I had to guess how this battle will go, I would guess that I'm going to win, but only by virtue of the Gigantes not routing. And in fact, I may lose, because their defense skill is low enough that the Vans will be hitting them repeatedly, and the Vans do enough damage when they hit to carve through their protection, although when they go Berserk they have protection 17, so they won't take that much damage. But let's see how it goes. They are going to drop that Blessing, which is going to make the Vans hurt a lot more, especially since they have Divine Blessing, so it will affect all of them. Those Frost weapons are going to be a bear. And it looks like those Vans are attacking rear, so this is going to go very, very badly for me. These Vans are going to hit my leadership, and I don't have anybody guarding the leadership, so it's going to die very, very quickly. Ah, they also have Valkyries, which are flying, and those are, of course, also sacred and blessed. So yeah, I'm about to lose all my leadership. Yep, there it goes. I need these guys to be berserking as quickly as possible. Only the berserkers are about to remain on the field. My leadership is gone. And the helots are routing. Actually, is not all my leadership gone? Those were all my leaders back there. They killed them all. Oh no, I've still got Resos. I've still got Resos, the Trophimos commander. Oh, Resos is my saving grace. He kept me on the field for a couple more rounds. And in that time, a bunch more of my giants went berserk. I'm gonna lose this, though. Resos is dead, I think. No? No, Resos is not dead? Yes, Resos is dead, so the armies of Phlegra are routed. So now, it's a matter of seeing how much damage my berserk giants can do before they die. They've routed a significant chunk of the enemy troops as well, but they're going to be surrounded and hacked down by the Sacreds. Okay. Fair enough. Well done. So, they lost 48 units and I lost 113. It was the leadership that got me. The attack on the rear of the leadership just massacred me. The Valkyries and the Vans, they really got me good there. I did kill 2 of his hearses, which is nice, I guess. However, I lost 5 of my own commanders. I killed a couple of Fey Boars. I killed a few Einhirs, which are berserking. Einhirs have a very high berserk value, and they already have high protection. So using Einhirs to expand can also be very effective. Just, they're not sacred, but they have, like, very, very devastating attacks when they go berserk. And, yeah. Didn't do all that much damage just because I did start routing. If my leadership had remained, I would have done a lot better. But primarily the damage was the Gigante warriors. Okay. So I've been pushed off. That's fine. I will survive. Polybos, move over that way. I want to try and hold Spring Bay if I can. Resource-wise, these Turtle Warriors are... Actually, these Turtle Warriors are still slightly better than Helot Warriors. And resources are my limitation anyway at the moment, so that's fine. Stick with that. Fortress Iapetos, begin capturing slaves. Now, one second. Yeah, somebody wanted to be a tyrant named Drakon. So, this tyrant will be Fortress Drakon. And he is actually going to go into battle. Fortress Drakon here has 3 earth and 3 fire, which is a pretty good set of paths. Now, tyrants cannot actually, since they're not very good leaders, they can't actually give Helot warriors formations. However, they are Taskmasters +4. So if you look at these Helots, Taskmaster +4, their morale is still slightly better than it is when they're led by Trophimos commanders, so that's fine. Fortress Drakon, we are going to script to cast Iron Skin, and possibly also Skeletal Body. I won't bother with Skeletal Body. He'll cast Iron Skin, and then... This is probably a bad idea, but I want to see how well it works. So we're going to Iron Skin, attack for 3 turns, and then cast Immolation, I think. No, because he'll be surrounded by Helots at that point. Because Immolation, basically, if you have a whole bunch of fire resistance, the Immolation spell and high-level fire, which he does, the immolation spell does a whole bunch of damage over a wide area of effect centered on you. So it's not at all useful if you don't have high-level fire resistance, but if you do, then it's can be pretty handy. Yeah, let's cast Iron Skin and then have him advance and cast spells, just to see kind of how that works out. We will put him in the middle of his giants, and his giants will be right down there, where they can kind of take a flank. So he'll be up at the front, he'll cast his spell, the giants will advance around him, and then he will advance with them. So Fortress Drakon, move over in this direction. Down here, we've got a solid little pack of Helots and Helot archers. So Deporos, or Peleos actually, Peleos is the one with the troops. Peleos can also move up in this direction to join the fortress as it advances. Over here, we're going to build a lab. I can upgrade my fortifications yet again to a giant castle. I don't think that gives me a third commander point, but I'll definitely have to find out at some point here. Now, down here we've got Long Dead, Celeria. I don't want to go to war with Celeria just yet, because I only want to have one war at a time, if I can manage that. So, let's give those guys to Zakynthos. And Sperchios and Asopos are going to move down this way to go take out some other places. We're going to stop recruiting Gigante warriors, and get back to recruiting Helot warriors and archers at a relatively even mix. Don't need another commander just yet, because we've got Topigog and Zakynthos. That fortress will take one more turn, and we'll build a lab at the same time. Over here, our research is finally actually starting to happen. We'll hit Alteration level 4 pretty quickly, and then we'll go up to Construction and then Evocation, as I talked about before. Phlegias is going to start going off to Site Search. He can Site Search air, earth, and a little bit of fire, plus astral. And getting some astral pearls would be really nice. So let's see what we can do by way of that. Taking Shade Forest would also be good, which I can probably do at pretty much any time. Actually, Polybos, if they decide to counterattack, I won't be able to hold White Harbor this turn. So Polybos, go take that province instead. Yeah, do that. And we'll kick up the defenses here to 11 to discourage them from attacking it. Although if they do attack it, of course, I will lose. Quick check to see who's not doing anything. These two aren't doing anything, that's fine. These two are not doing anything, that's also okay. You should actually search for magic sites. And Deporos and Menestheus are doing nothing. Menestheus should move back to the capital to pick up the slaves that our fortress here captures. I don't need another tyrant right at the moment. Instead, let's start recruiting Trophimos oppressors. Or possibly even Elder Cyclops. I don't have construction yet, so I'm not forging anything at the moment, so we'll hold off on the Elder Cyclops for now. They're only useful when I'm forging. Yeah, they attacked White Harbor. I thought they would. In Oaklands, we found a mud field. Great. We'll build a lab here. Up here, we're going to start recruiting Shackled Mages forever. And let's pump out a few Helot warriors just for fun. Down here, we're already recruiting archers and warriors. Yeah, let's do that. Eteocles. Research for the nonce. Fortress Iapetus is working to increase our stock of slaves. We've got 34 archers. We don't need quite that many archers. Let's get a few more infantry going on along with them, because we get 10 to 16 approximately from the tyrant. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, let's do like that. Okay, in Shade Forest, how'd that battle go? We lost 6, wiped out the enemy. Excellent. In White Harbor, we had 6 province defense and nothing else. And yeah, if we had tried to hold against this force, we would have gotten wiped out. They've got the Einheirs, they've got a pretty decent pack of vans, and they have their prophet. So it wasn't going to work out. My province? Oh, there was a Gigante warrior who had just retreated here. Okay, well, he might have done a little bit of damage. No. Doubt it. Yeah, he's gonna get surrounded and just hacked down. And his attack is too low to actually hurt the vans much. Yep, there he goes. High defense is the weakness of Gigante warriors, unfortunately. They lost their Fey Boar, but I think that was probably friendly fire, because I didn't score any kills. So, that's happened. So they've got a fairly significant army right there. However, I have a fairly significant army of my own, including a tyrant. And they, tell you what. Let's swap troops. Give the archers to him, give the infantry to him, because he can put them in a double line here, right out front. And the archers can have the Taskmaster morale bonus, and they don't have to worry about being in formation. Ironskin advance and spells. They're just going to go forward. They're going to go forward. Great. So we've got about 120 units of our own here. We'll move them up that way. And recruitment is ongoing. Search for magic sites there, please. We're recruiting. Building a lab. Great. Dayparos has 44 units for now. We'll wait. We'll give him one more turn, and then he'll go. Up here, we're still recruiting giants, just to be safe. Menestius can pick up some troops while we're down here. They're recruiting shackled mages. Instead of a shackled mage, why don't you give me a pair of Cyclops chieftains real quick. And Polybos also move up there to reinforce this province. So if Vanheim continues to push towards my capital, they will run into a lot of troops. And this army, so there is Ashdod. And Ashdod appears to be recruiting mainly independents. Zakynthos, yeah, go at least another turn before you start to move. I definitely could overpower that Ashdod force, but I want to wait. I want to take this throne rather than going to war at the moment. I'd like to move Dayparos down in that direction then. So actually, Dayparos, move out now, because from that province you can attack. So in this province, we'll give him a few more helots to back him up. And we'll keep recruitment rolling. Okay, that should be it for this turn. So in the next turn, we're going to push Vanheim back again. Hopefully we will get this Palisades built. Just out of kind of nerves, I'm going to upgrade the defense a little bit more, just in case. I should also upgrade the province defense on these places, because we're about to send another... Well, no, we've stopped recruiting fortresses, so we're fine. I'm just calling them fortresses now instead of tyrants. Yeah, you all just wait a moment. Wait one more turn. Actually, let's have Zakynthos move down that way to help y'all out. Okay, we found a site in Griffa, the Starlit Pond. Excellent, an astral site. And we'll keep Phlegius moving around. Battle in Spring Bay. Oh, they did attack Spring Bay. Damn. And we killed one Ein here, and they wiped us all out. Okay, fair enough. That's what happens, I guess. The river is frozen, however. Oh, no, it's not, because Tiradir isn't frozen over. Damn, damn, damn. So I can't go there, so let's push up this way. Let's take White Harbor back. Over here, we're going to send you back that way. Down here, we're going to recruit a giant. And some infantry. A few archers to back them all up. Let's go back to recruiting shackled mages, though, for the researching. Who doesn't yet have a lab? You've got a lab, you've got a lab, you've got a lab. Great. You and all of you attack that way. Let's grab this throne real quick. You lot fire at enemy archers. You lot fire at enemy archers. You guys, let's give all of those to... Actually, Asopos. Why can't I swap between... Who do I've got? Gigantes and Asopos here. So... let's just shuffle around a little bit. Okay, you can have a few. Actually, I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. Set these guys to guard commander. And... why can't I give... Oh, he has maximum number of troops. Set these guys to guard commander as well. Just because I don't like having my commanders sniped like that. And Sperkios, yeah, you can kind of stand back there. These four should be up in the line, however. Okay, let's do that. And you guys, guard commander. Great. Okay, so we'll take that throne. I think we should be able to take it. Up here, we've got 42 units in the garrison. We need another Trophimos commander, actually. Let's recruit another pair of them. Because we've already got a Cyclops commander. We're going to have 9 giants and a whole passel of infantry next turn here for Menestheus and a Cyclops to take. And this army will push up against Vanheim. Great. 6 commanders are doing nothing. We've got a lab, so you should actually be either moving to search or researching. Let's move you to search. We'll recruit shackled mages. Come on now. We'll recruit shackled mages here. Great, and we're recruiting shackled mages there. And we're recruiting Trophimos commanders there, not shackled mages yet. Still, this is, for this point of game, this is a very solid place to be fort-wise. The fact that you just save so much money by expanding with helots lets you really build a lot of infrastructure very quickly. I mean, even now my upkeep and income are starting to come more into what I would consider alignment with how I expect the game to go, because I've been recruiting a whole bunch of these giants that are really, really expensive. You know, 52 gold per year. These guys are as expensive as a mage each. But I can easily change that just by not recruiting more of them. I mean, they're useful. I like having some of them, but I don't need a lot. So I'll recruit another run. I'm actually not going to recruit that one. We're just going to let him be. And yeah, I think we'll be able to just swarm Vanheim under pretty effectively. Okay, battle in White Harbor. There shouldn't be anything here unless he moved his army here. So here we have our Tyrant, our little giant squad, and our great hordes of slaves. And on the other side, he did move his army in, or at least a fraction of his army. It looks like he might have split up, because he's only got a couple of vans. And fewer Valkyries than I expect as well. But he does have his Prophet, so he will be able to throw that blessing on his Valkyries. So we are going to be seeing some flying shenanigans, which means I'm probably going to lose my Trophimos commanders again. But Fortress Drakon is about to make himself nearly invincible. Yeah, Protection 25 means that the odds of, for example, an Einhir actually doing damage to him are pretty low. The odds of a van doing damage to him are even lower. So the archers are laying some fire on their archers. The infantry are attacking the vans. Those javelins are fantastic at breaking glamour, because, once again, they don't care about defensive stats. Fortress Drakon is actually throwing Earth Meld instead of advancing, which is fine. The Valkyries are jumping on my archers, which is also fine. The infantry fight is going my way, just because I have so many more infantry. We're slowly cutting down the vans. Fortress Drakon is casting Frighten, which is a pretty good spell for this situation. Unfortunately, it looks like my helots are now routing en masse, which is not what I had hoped for. But it is what's happening. We've killed most of the Valkyries. The Trophimos commander is routing, so my armies are now routed. Once again, it's the Berserk Giants that are left on the field. Let's see if they can pull it off. We've got one van was just stabbed to death by this Gigante. These two Gigantes are fighting the Valkyries. It's just a couple Berserk Giants left. This Berserk Giant may well stab this Van Jarl to death. He does have a hugely high defense skill, and he only takes half damage, but his hit points are relatively low. Let's see if he can do it. We've got more Giants coming in. See, the harassed penalty is not mounting up because he only has one person attacking him, but now that he has 3 Giants attacking him... Why did that one rout? Oh, he must have fallen on... Oh, that's right. So this is the limitation on Berserk. When you've gone Berserk, you gain more fatigue every round, and if you fall unconscious and then wake up, your Berserk wears off. So this Van Jarl is going to live, and they are going to win, despite him only having 6 hit points and now Battle Fright, just by outlasting my troops. So yeah, okay, we did lose just barely. So let's look at how that battle went down. So we lost 89 out of our 174. They lost 52 out of their 58. The Valkyries actually did more damage than anything with that glamour rear attack flying charge into our archers. They wiped out more than half the archers just by doing that. I didn't lose any of my commanders, unless they died in the retreat. To Tiradir, okay, I lost Polybos. Polybos retreated into enemy territory and died. Fortress Drakon and Peleos both survived, and I got about 40 units, about 50 units back all told. And this army is gone. The only things that are left is they've got their 2 Van Jarls left, and they've got 4 Hirdmen. So all in all, while I lost that battle, to be honest, I won in terms of resources expended. I lost 4 Gigantes, and then I lost a whole bunch of Helots that I don't care about. So, okay. In Cassian Forest, let's see how this one went down. Once again, monstrous hordes of Helots against monstrous hordes of crap infantry. What do we have here mage-wise? Sages. Oh, sages, okay. Sages only have 1 astral. They have a lore master, however, and the lore master has a lot of paths. So he is almost certainly going to spam elementals, and I'm probably going to lose for that reason. The sages are not threatening, the lore master is very threatening, and fire elementals are one thing that mass armies of Helots don't have a good answer to. Twist Fate, Mind Burn. So all the Astral 1 guys are casting Mind Burn on my Giants, which is fair, that's a reasonable thing to do. They're casting lots of Astral combat spells. The Helots are doing alright. The Giants have gone berserk, but several are dead. The light infantry are going to get chopped down by the Helots, assuming morale holds, which it should, because I have Sermon of... Never mind. I was about to say which it should because of all the Sermons of Courage, but, you know. Helots are unreliable, it's true. My Helot archers are remaining on the field, and they should still have a few rounds of ammunition. And we have routed the independent armies, so that one we won, despite the casualties. We did lose 42 units, retreat details, retreated to Amiradon, 27 made it back to friendly territory. Since we won the battle, I think they should mostly still be in the province. Except for the ones who made it off the field, yeah. So a lot of them are still in the province. So we have the Throne of Flames. Oh, great, so blessed troops get more fire resistant. And here I have Ashdod pushing up. I haven't seen Ashdod yet. They've got a Mound King down there, some living troops there, some undead troops. Still recruiting our slave mages there and there. Okay, doing solidly. Doing okay. Yeah, the weaknesses of the Helots start to become apparent as soon as you stop expanding and start running into actual armies. the morale is a problem. It really is. Because when you only have morale 9 or 10, they're just not going to stay in the fight very long at all. And there's really, I mean, you can't hardly blame them for it, but... I mean, I do blame them for it. I wish they wouldn't, but I understand why they run. It makes it problematic, and it means you really do want to have that hardcore of giants, because the hardcore of giants will keep you in the fight as they go berserk. That said, the giants are, of course, the expensive part of your army, so if you can get away without using them, it's good to get away without using them for as long as you can. Overall, I would rather take Heelot armies anytime I can manage to win with Heelot armies, but if the fight is at all hanging in the balance, you want to bring some Gigantes, just to make sure. Of note, of course, I can recruit Trophimos oppressors anywhere, so I can recruit my full communion out of any fort. I'm just doing the slaves for right now because they're the cheap ones that will upgrade my research with relatively little expense. I'm already up to 114 research points per turn, and that will keep going up. I think I am going to cut this video here. I know we're only on turn 19. We haven't quite gotten through year 1, but it has been about an hour of recording time. Before I do, let's take a look at the statistics, at the score graphs. So, Phlegra, in terms of provinces, I am way above any of the AIs, which is fair. Province-wise, what I own right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I own 18 provinces. Did I count that right? Yeah, 18 provinces. 18 provinces is pretty solid. I could wish it was more at this point, but I did get involved in that war with Vanheim, which is taking a lot of my time and effort. If I can, I would like to snap up these 4 before Ashdod gets shirty with me. So we'll be moving in that direction as quickly as is practical. Let's keep actually recruiting cataphracts over here. We can get 2 per turn now that we've upgraded, which is great. Cataphracts are, of course, fairly expensive, but they're only about half the price of a giant, and they are very solid troops. So we'll get some cataphracts, and then we'll have a couple of Heelot archers just to kind of back them up. I like the way Phlegra is playing. As up here, basically their big mass armies have trouble with really, really tough troops. That's the thing that I'm running into. The Einheers that can berserk, especially the Valkyries, the flying, mirror-imaged Valkyries, they become a problem because Helots just can't effectively deal with them, or Vans, because with those high defense skills, they don't get hit very often. If you have enough Helots, you can swarm them down, but that takes time, and that's enough time for the Helots to lose their morale and start to run as well. So it's hard to do. I'm going to keep pushing across that bridge real quick. These 2 guys are going to move over to reinforce, which will take a couple of turns because of that river directly in the way. But overall, I think this is working pretty well. I do have my little fortresses moving, and of course, Fortress Drakon can spawn reinforcements no matter what province he's in. So I can go across the river. If I take a lot of losses here, I can wait a turn and recruit another 20 or so infantry to reinforce my army, which will be pretty solid. Back to the statistics real quick. So in terms of provinces, I'm ahead. In terms of forts, I am also ahead. You can see here there was a period where I was just building basically a fort per turn. Nobody else has put up more than 1. In a multiplayer game, you'd see people having put up 2 and maybe be working on a 3rd by this time. I have not been building as many forts as I could have. If I had been more conservative about my expansion, about fighting Vanheim, basically, if I had not recruited so many giants, I could already be putting up yet another fort. Didn't I have another one building somewhere? No? Okay. In any case, I have 4. I had another one building up there, of course, but it got shut down. I could easily have 5 by this time, possibly even 6. In terms of income, since I have more provinces than everybody, my income is the highest. In terms of gem income, that's also the highest because I have started site searching. Man is second, and Qinshi is third. Research-wise, I am not on top in research, but I didn't expect to be. My research is pretty average. That will start accelerating more and more because I have more forts, and all of my forts can recruit mages. Cheap mages that will not increase my upkeep much, but will increase my research disproportionately. Dominion-wise, my Dominion is actually quite low. I took a relatively low Dominion score, and I have built 0 temples. None whatsoever. So I only have 3 Dominion spread chances per month, because my god isn't here, and I haven't built any temples. So that's something that I should start doing pretty soon, just in order to keep my Dominion pushing out and stop me from being pushed in. That will draw some money away from everything else I'm doing, but it'll be worth it. In terms of army size, my army size has been consistently the highest. Even after that first loss, my army size was still the highest, and it increases dramatically, very quickly. I took another big dip after that latest defeat, but I can absolutely... This doesn't mean so much because, of course, unit quality varies so wildly. Like, Hime is actually the lowest army size right now, and Hime could still probably beat me, just because their units are so much better, especially their sacreds. And of course, Ascension points, the only one who has one is Man, who has claimed a throne. I own a throne province now, but I have not yet claimed the Throne of Flames. I will claim the Throne of Flames right now, because 3 extra fire gems will be fantastic. I love it. I want more fire gems always. Oh, nope, sorry, those are archers. Don't mix the infantry in with the archers. Have a separate infantry gang. Okay, so that's going to be it for this turn. For this video, rather. In the next video, we will continue our war against Hime. We are going to prosecute it a little more carefully. We may build another fort up here in Tiradir, which is a pretty good fort slot. And from there, we will mass forces and push out against the foe. So you can see we already have... I mean, this is the thing. I have reserves. Like, I can go full Soviet Union on these guys just because I have so many troops. They just beat an army. I'm coming right back in with what's left of it, which is 50 units. And in 2 turns' time, I will have another big old pack of units. That's 77. Yeah, in a couple turns' time, I will have another 160 plus 9 giants rolling up. That's the kind of production that most nations just can't sustain. I can afford to lose armies. It's okay if I lose battles because I have reserves and I can just keep throwing helots at the problem because I'm producing like 30 for free every turn. And I could be producing more. In fact, we're not even going to move to take that province just yet. We're just going to capture some slaves here in Tiradir, first of all. And, yeah, that'll reinforce our armies yet further. And then we'll just keep coming, wave after wave. We'll wear them down, because Hime cannot afford to produce Huskarls and Valkyries the way I can afford to produce helots. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.